What's going on, guys? K-Pine here and welcome back. And in this video, I'll be featuring the team that brought me to veteran rank and well onto the global leaderboards in the Psychic Cup. That being Hoopa on the lead, Malamar's the safe swap, and Galarian Rapidash as the closer. Hoopa, even though being very glassy, has a really nice niche in this meta, and that it's going to win basically every cap tie, as well as it having a ghost subtyping to resist poison jabs from GBro and double resist the body slams from G-Rap. Malamar basically has no hard counters and is arguably the best mon in the format, and G-Rap for its spammy nature and to provide some pressure to opposing Malamar. And with that, let's get right into the battles. Alright, getting to the first battle, we lead Hoopa into Claydol. Pretty good lead for the Hoopa. The Claydol does outpace you here, so it's a little bit unfortunate. You just give up a shield and then farm the Claydol all the way down and leave with basically almost 2 Shadow Balls to fire off at your opponent. If your opponent overfarms in that matchup at all and allows you to get the Shadow Ball off first, I like to, throw it, get the shield, and then no shield their next move. And hopefully your backline with that energy lead and that shield advantage can sweep the end game. And as you'll see there, I tried to throw that Shadow Ball, but I lagged and the Malamar got 1 to 2 free Psy Waves. And because they got those free Psy Waves from that lag, it makes it so I'm not able to get that second Shadow Ball. And that is huge because that would have forced the second shield from my opponent, or basically taken out their entire Malamar, which completely changed the scope of this game. And now it's going to be very, very tough, as I'm going to bring in my Galarian Rapidash, and it becomes a bait game. I get the shield correct on their Mega Horn. I'm going to go for a Body Slam bait. I get the Body Slam bait correct, and then I swap here into my Malamar to catch their Mega Horn, and I'm just going to fully sack the Malamar, as that's double super effective damage, completely destroys it. Back in comes their Malamar. We're able to get to the Body Slam on what's the CMP tie to their foul play. Down goes the Malamar, and we do reach that Mega Horn to take out their own G-Rap. GG's. Next battle, we lead Hoopa into Galarian Slowbro. Fantastic lead, not quite a fantastic lead, just because they do have access to Brutal Swing, which they get to after every 5 poison jabs. But it is nice, a good lead for us, since we do have those 2 shields. And a lot of times a GBro lead will swap out and play for shield advantage, not switch advantage, but shield advantage, because they know that if they get shield advantage, then their GBro can handle the Hoopa quite fine. And in this situation, they swap out into a Rapidash, and they do end up getting that shield advantage, right? But they're going to have to throw a move here to take out my Malamar. Otherwise, I'm going to reach 2 foul plays. So I do reach 2 foul plays, and I will get both of those shields back, which is very nice. But again, that energy advantage is going to be very deadly here, as they are basically at the back-to-back brutal swings here. So I have to let it go. Down goes Hoopa. Hoopa extremely glassy, double super effective damage. It is not faring well in that situation. And then comes a G-Rap, and this is looking like a tight game. We'll see what I can do. But a common pairing of a GBro lead is going to be a Claydol in the back. So say your opponent swaps into that Claydol to try and get that energy advantage. You don't switch out into your Malamar or anything in that matchup. You just stay in with your Hoopa and make sure you get switch advantage there, because if you get switch advantage there, you can then put your own Malamar onto their GBro. And from there, you have the alignment you need, and you're going to be doing pretty well in that matchup. GG's in that match. Next battle, Malamar Lead. You read if they're on Psycho Cut or Psy Wave. If they are on Psycho Cut, you're going to throw 3 Astonishes and then swap into your Malamar to potentially catch the foul play. If they're on Psy Wave, you're going to throw 4 Astonishes, then swap into your Malamar to potentially catch the Psy Wave, which fortunately we are able to do here. Now, I do highly recommend Malamar being on Psy Wave in this meta as opposed to Psycho Cut, because even though Psycho Cut does have faster pacing, being able to provide more fast move pressure with those Psy Waves is very crucial in some farm down situations against a lot of the meta, like an opposing GBro, an opposing G-Rap, and more specifically against an opposing Malamar. That farm down often turns the tides in that matchup, more so than it not. So down goes their Hoopa, down goes their lead Malamar. They have a Claydol in the back. My only lose condition here is them calling a Mega Horn bait. So we do full send the Mega Horn. They let it go and we take that one. GG's. Next battle, we lead Hoopa into Gardevoir. Not even a Shadow Gardevoir here. I do think the Shadow is better just for that oppressive charm pressure. And as you'll see, those Astonishes versus charm pacing, super effective Astonish, just shredding through that Gardevoir. Now, if they swap out into a Malamar, they will give up a shield to the Shadow Ball. I bring in my GBro, and here I can just shield this and then outpace to this next Mega Horn, which we do fire off. So right before they reach their next Psywave, overfarming as much as we can, as in this cup, energy is crucial. We do land that Mega Horn, and from there, my opponent realizes they don't have a win condition left, even though we don't get to see that third Mon, and they concede. GG's. Next battle, GBro Lead. So like I said, if they do swap out, you have to be careful for that shield scenario where they try and get energy there to flip that Hoopa matchup, but this one's staying in. So, you know, potentially the core broken to the Hoopa as they bring in a Malamar. So we're going to fire off the Shadow Ball like we like to do, get that shield from the Malamar, and then bring in our G-Wrap. If they let that Shadow Ball go, I'm just going to bring in my G-Wrap and then Fairy Wind all the way down. And if they shield that, then I can just bring in my Rapidash, farm up till right before the next move, and then go for the Mega Horn. You have to go for the Mega Horn here. And in most situations against the Malamar to KO, I think like Body Slam does something like 27-28% to the Malamar. So say the Malamar is around 30%, go for that Mega Horn to KO. Your opponent will often go for the optimal play and forcing you to go for that Mega Horn there to KO. Now they have a Claydol in the back, and this is just another one match because the Claydol cannot Mud Slap down the Malamar before we reach two foul plays. Foul play number one does get the shield, and now they're going to try and fire off another Scorching Sands, maybe to get an attack drop here. But even if they get the attack drop, which they do, it's not going to matter because this is a stab, super effective foul play, and even at -1 will be enough to take care of the Claydol. GG's. Next battle, we lead Hoopa into Galarian Slowbro, yet another one. And now this one is going to swap into that Claydol. So this is that situation I was explaining about earlier in the video. And now they actually let me get to the Shadow Ball first, which is kind of interesting because even though they swapped into the Claydol does reach that Scorching Sands between the before the Hoopa reaches the Shadow Ball. So more often than not, they will throw that first, and you can't rely on taking advantage of that one turn switch there. If they do, it's very nice and you just throw right away, but if not, it's fine. You'll still be able to Astonish all the way down and then get those shields back from whatever they have, with whatever they come in with, if it's the GBro or the third Mon. So here we do have the alignment we want. We have our Malamar onto the GBro. We lose CMP tie here, or the cap tie. I'm going to try and say cap tie more often as opposed to CMP, charge move priority, charged attack priority, because I think the proper term and the term that Play Pokemon and those companies try and work with and go for is that cap tie. So if you hear me bounce around back and forth, that's what I mean. I'm going to try and say cap tie more often now. The next battle, Hoopa into Claydol. They swap into that Malamar. You want to be quick on your swap here, because if you're slow on your swap and you actually overtap into 2 Astonishes, a Malamar can reach a potential Hyper Beam before you reach that Mega Horn. Where if you swap after only throwing 1 Astonish, you can reach that Mega Horn before they reach that potential Hyper Beam, so you can safely no shield it. And there, like I said, that you want to go for that Mega Horn to KO as that Malamar is out of Body Slam range. So you go for that Mega Horn, get the KO. We reach a little parting gift of a Body Slam to the Claydol. Now here I can just show my Hoopa. Look for an Astonish down if they stay in, but they don't. They swap out into a Bite Bruxish. And with our Malamar in the back, this is just a game over. So you get that shield with the Shadow Ball. Bring in our Malamar, outpace to this foul play before they reach that Aqua Tail. And my opponent lets it go, but realistically, if they shield that and like potentially Psychic Fangs bait me. Regardless, it doesn't matter just because of how much I'd be able to over farm and then outpace the Claydol as well after. So they can see GG's. Next game, Hoopa into Malamar. This one's on Psywave as well, so we're going to do the same thing. 4 Astonishes, swap into a Malamar, and what do you know, we're able to get another catch. 2 foul play. If they stay in that matchup, once you swap into your Malamar there, 2 foul plays from them won't KO, and after a second foul play, you'll actually be able to reach a Hyper Beam. And more often than not, your opponent lets your move go because they read it as, oh yeah, I'll survive a foul play from here. But by you going for that Hyper Beam, it kind of catches them off guard and forces that shield from them, or KOs them to get that switch advantage, which, like I said, more often than not you do. Now in this situation, I do bring in my Hoopa. I do shield to respect the potential wild charge. It is just a body slam. Now we're going to see what they come in with here. It's the Malamar, so I'm going to throw 2 more Astonishes, then the Shadow Ball. Does get their first shield. Gonna bring in my G-Bro. They have a Claydol in the back, and again, all I need to do is just full send the Mega Horn here. I don't have any way I can possibly lose this game unless they call a body slam bait. So my opponent does shield that Mega Horn. I will shield up the Scorching Sands in return, over farm to basically the max before their next move. Fire off this Mega Horn that will take out the Claydol. We leave with a body slam stored, which we fire off at the Malamar right here. We swap into our Hoopa to catch this. Honestly, I swapped into my Hoopa because I wasn't expecting them to throw right away. I was expecting them to try and go for the Psywave farm down, but they throw right away. I complicate things extremely by doing that, but we're still able to hang on with 1 HP and get the Fairy Wind farm down there. GG's. Next battle. GRAP Lead, fantastic. They swap into that Malamar. We have that quick swap back into that Rapidash of our own. And this one is on foul play, which means we can very safely throw 5 Fairy Winds here, CMP tie them with the Mega Horn. This will take out an entire family of Malamar if they let it go. Cap tie them. Caught myself there. Malamar goes down, and here I'm going to go for the body slam. I'm expecting them to shield this to respect a potential Mega Horn, as it will basically one-shot an opposing G-Rap. So we do get the shield, not quite able to reach another Mega Horn before we will get farmed down. So I am going to settle for a body slam there for a little bit of extra chip damage, then come in with my own Hoopa, where I will give up a shield to respect a potential wild charge. I don't remember if they were at Mega Horn energy here or not, but either way, if they throw 5 Fairy Winds, potential wild charge energy, and Hoopa can't take a hit whatsoever unless the move is a double resisted like body slam from an opposing G-Rap. So we are going to use our shield there. And in the back, they have a Weird Deer, and I made a massive mistake. I made the call that Hoopa was going to be valuable in this end game here. And because I gave up my last shield on the Hoopa, I'm just going to lose this game now. And I'm going to get swept by a Weird Deer. If I save that shield for the Malamar, this would be an opposite story. Malamar would be sweeping this end game, but we get the call wrong and get swept by a Pokemon I never thought we'd be getting swept by. GG's. Next battle, Hoopa into Malamar. Check the fast move. It's Psywave, so 4 Astonishes swap into our own Malamar. This time we don't get the catch, but my opponent is staying in. So we're going to let this go. They're going to actually land a Hyper Beam this time. So they do go for the harder hitting move. Then they're going to bring in their own Claydol. We're going to get some nice foul play chip on this Claydol. And they are going to get a good Mud Slap down. But my Hoopa is going to come out absolutely loaded from here. We just give up 1 shield, and we will be able to get 2 shields back from our opponents because of how much energy we have here. So waiting to see what they want to come in with. It is that Malamar, so 1 Astonish, then the Shadow Ball. This will get the shield from my opponent. No, it does not get the shield from my opponent. They actually just let it go and rely on a G-Bro in the back. And here I'm thinking, you know what? My Galarian Rapidash would have a fantastic matchup in the back against basically anything to close us out. if it's not a G, bro. And I'm like, oh no. Okay, so we're gonna load up on energy. We're only gonna get to one move. I get to the back-to-back body slams, but unfortunately that poison jab does sneak through. And here, gonna see, this is very close. They're at the back-to-back brutal swings right here. We get the Astonish through. The Astonish does just barely KO, and we are able to hang on and take a very close one there. GG's. This has been a very strong and consistent team so far in my climb, as you can see from the back-to-back 4-1 sets. And I know this video is coming out late and on the last day of the Psychic Cup, but if you want to give it a try, by all means do so, because after all, what other chance will you have to be able to try out Hoopa? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Love to hear what you have to say. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.